Hello and welcome to the part number 27 of the Node Editor tutorial series. My name is Pavel Krupla from blenderfreak.com, and in this part we are going to have a look on how to create Python package. Yes, that's right, we want to make sure that our code is going to be easy to read, reusable and understandable to other people. So the best distribution method you can choose is a Python package. So therefore we are going to have a look at that. So if you want to understand how Python packaging works, I suggest you to go to the packaging.python.org, where you can find a PyPA or Python packaging user guide. PyPA is a shortcut for the Python packaging authority. If you are interested in how these standards are created or suggested, you can go ahead and have a look in the Learn More section. Like for example here, the specifications and the guides for walkthroughs and installing packaging and discussions and deploying Python applications with pip or easy install. But for our case, we are going to go to the tutorial and have a look at packaging Python project. I will go quickly through this guide, and as you can see, a simple project, we are going to create something like example package. We should create some hierarchy like example package. Inside of that there should be example package, which is going to be a module. That's because we do have the __init__py file, so therefore it's going to be a package. Here is suggested to put the name of the package inside of the init itself. Then we should definitely create something like setup.py. This is the most important file, license, readme and so on. So the setup file basically is a build script for setup tools. So as you can see, the setup.py contains the setup tools with bunch of specifications for our package. For example, name, version, auto description, URL, stuff like that. Dependency packages, which are here, classifiers, programming language Python 3 or Python 3.4 or 3.5, etc. The license itself, the operation system, if it is dependent on some operation system or is not dependent on some operation system. But anyways, a whole bunch of stuff. Here is something like readme, license, generating distribution archives. So basically, when you run python.setup.py and you choose sdist or bdist wheel, that means source distribution or build distribution wheel, you can create these packages out of the code. Probably you know that you are not supposed to use X anymore. It has been replaced with wheels, so we will definitely have a look at the wheels. And here in this section the documentation says something about creating a test account on or test.py, which is Python package index. You can basically upload with Twine the distribution of your package, and therefore you can put it globally to everyone on the internet to use your package. If you not want to do that, you probably do need to set up a local Python package index at your company, for example, to have your internal tools or internal packages. We will skip this part basically because we do not want to upload it anywhere else than just a Git repository I already created for this project or for these tutorials. So basically we will have a look then on how to install the package with pip locally to be able to develop the package further. So that's gonna be done with pip install -e as a development mode, and we will definitely try out the installation from the wheel file also. So basically this is all the guide, everything it describes, and some of the things we are going to tweak manually and some of the things we are going to generate. Yes, that's right. You don't need to have to create your Python package manually. It can be generated by using, for example, this awesome tool called cookiecutter. cookiecutter is a command line utility that creates from cookiecutters project templates. For example, Python package project from a Python package project template, which means that you can run a command line tool, provide bunch of informations about your project, and it will generate a whole structure of the repository you can use. Cookiecutter, if you have a look at the documentation, for example here in the credits, you can see a whole bunch of people were working on this tool and contributing to it. So huge thanks to them. We can make ourselves the life much more easier. So let's have a look at that. Okay, and in my case, I know I was using the global Python installation instead of a virtual environment. So if we go to File, Settings, and Project, Node Editor, Project Interpreter, you can see here this one doesn't work right now, but the Python installation I got globally have huge amount of other packages like PyOpenGL and stuff which I was using for the rendering engine and game engine. But anyways, we can create a new virtual environment by clicking to this wheel and click Add, select New Environment, and the path will be v, env. We do not want to inherit the global side packages, and just make it available for this project. So by clicking OK, the virtual env script is going to create a new installation of Python 3. Whatever version you are using. So in this case I'm using 3.6 still, and the packages I got is pip and setup tools. So apply, OK. I will make sure that this configuration is using the virtual environment. So this is the project default. Apply, OK. And when I run up the terminal, you can see I'm already in my virtual environment. So if you are not, you can go up to your virtual environment. So in my case it's here, to the scripts, and activate. If you are on Linux, you need to use source, space, and the path to the activate script. So this will activate you the virtual environment itself. And now we can go ahead and install cookiecutter. So we can write pip, or let's test if we do have pip. Yeah, we have, and we can ask where is pip. And you can see instead of using this global installation of pip, we are going to use this virtual environment script pip, which is exactly what we want. So let's install the cookiecutter. Pip install cookiecutter. It will collect all the packages for you, install them, and you should be ready to go to use cookiecutter. So in order to use cookiecutter, you simply type cookiecutter, and then you need to pass the path to the template you are using. So in our case, it's gonna be https github.com audrey r/cookiecutter by package, and you can press enter. It will download the package and then will start to ask a lot of questions to you. So your full name, so I will type 9, email address, GitHub username, I don't remember mine, but we are using GitLab anyways, so doesn't matter. Project name is gonna be node editor, and the slug I will for now use template. Short description doesn't matter. Pipe username, I don't have one, I guess. Version 090, and use PyTest, no. Use PyP deployment with Travis, no, we don't want to use Travis. We don't want to use any batch, and No command line interface. Yeah, that's right. Create outer file, whatever we can. Some license. I will choose MIT. And now let's have a look. We got template here. Here is a GitHub documentation. Some documentation created already. Template. This is our code which we set up, and the tests are here. As you can see, from template import template. This one is, I guess, okay. Let's have a look at the setup.py. A whole bunch of stuff here. Even docs in a setup CFG. Nice. And makefile also with manifest and readme, and everything is here, I guess. So let's start to create a package. The first thing, I do wanna split up the example we were trying to make and the implementation of the node editor. So I'm gonna create a new package. I will call that node editor. Yes, I do wanna add this. In the node editor, I'm going to put, let's say, everything for now. So everything starting with node and the main. And just drag and drop it to the node editor. Okay. I definitely do wanna have something like a directory for tests. So let's create a new Python package, call them tests. We can check out our template. The tests is also here. And we should start with this line, always. So let's put it here, like this. Node editor. I do want to split up the example we were creating. So for that I will create examples. This will be just a directory. And the first example was example test. Inside here we were running the main. So let's move that. I will move the txt files also with the graphs. I will keep node content widget, edge, node editor widget, node editor window, and everything else is gonna be up here. So let's test what we have here. Now we are running the example from node editor examples example test main.py, which is correct, but we don't have at all PyQt5 installed. So let's quickly do that. And let's check out our requirements. Here is PyQt5 equals to 5.9, and we can say bigger or equal than 5.9. We can delete this line and say pip install our requirements txt. Let it run. In the meantime, we can take the QSS and put it inside the node editor. So PyQt5 should be installed already. And let's create another directory for tests or the documentation. And I guess this doesn't have to have init. So this will be just a directory like this. And in the global directory we need to have setup.py. Let's edit. We do wanna have readme rst. Let's edit. We do wanna have license. Not in the documentation, but here license readme. So readme. Let's save this, and now when I press play, you can see our example is running. We haven't found the style file, so that's one of the things we need to fix as soon as possible. But for now, we are running. Let's set up the setup.py properly, and I will just go ahead to this template. I will copy everything and put it into our file. So let's close that. And let's have a look. With open readme rst, readme file read, readme history rst. So probably I'm going to the template again and copy the history. Like that. Ta-da. It doesn't development status, let's have it like this. Delete Python 2.7, 3.4 I don't know, but this should be working for 3.5 and up to 3.7 I guess. The find packages include template. That's not gonna be our case, but instead of this we are going to say packages equal to find packages include node editor, everything, and exclude is gonna be, we do wanna exclude examples and everything from tests. Like this. Setup requires setup requirements. Setup requirements are going to be by qt5 bigger or equal to 5.9, and we can do that a little bit better. We can say with open requirements.txt as requirements file requirements file.read. Let's delete this, and here we can say setup requirements will be empty and test requirements will be empty too for now. Test suite is tests, and this is done. So let's copy the license. This is gonna be the same. Let's have a look at the history. First release as a library. And now when we go to the terminal, we can try pip install e and say from this directory. And we are obtaining the E means development mode, and we are obtaining file Node editor, tutorials, node editor, Qt 5.9 is already satisfied. This one is also. Installing collected packages, template, running setup.py, develop for template. This is not correct because we do not wanna have the name template here. To undo that, I'm going to write pip uninstall template. Yes, I do wanna remove and have a look. This is egg link because it's going to link to our source directory itself. Proceed, yes. And the keywords and name is gonna be node editor. Like this. And let's try it again. Installing collected packages node editor. And if you have a look in your virtual environment into the library, side packages, then you can definitely find node editor egg link. So let's try to use pip list to see what everything we got installed. And we got node editor 0.9.0, which is going to lead us to node editor tutorials / node editor. There is our source code. So this one is okay. So let's test our example. We are in the root. So let's go to examples and try Python main.py. And we are running, which is awesome. That wouldn't be possible if our node editor wouldn't be installed. So let's try to uninstall it again. Yes. And let's try to create a wheel distribution. Now let's try to create our distributions. So inside of the root we should be able to write Python setup.py as dist, like source distribution. And if I go back here, we got created dist, and there is our node editor 090*gz. Cool. And let's try to create a wheel. So Python setup.py b like build distribution wheel and invalid command because we need wheel. So pip install wheel. Okay, and let's try it again. And now here is our build library. Everything is being copied, and this contains node editor py3 none any wheel. Awesome. So let's try pip list again to check out that we are not having actually node editor installed. We don't have. So let's try pip install dist node editor py3.wheel, and let's try pip list again. And node editor is here and is being installed correctly. So again, if we have a look inside of our virtual environment in the library side packages, and we will try to find node editor distribution info. Here is our code, and as you can see, everything is inside node editor, and here is everything we put exactly here inside of our node editor. Everything is supposed to be here, except we are missing QSS styles. Okay, so to fix that, let's first check out that you have uninstalled the node editor. Yes, it's not installed. Then we need to go to the setup.py, include package data, packages, etc. And we need to write package data equals to dictionary and QSS and everything from the QSS directory, like this. So let's create the distributions. Python setup.py as distribution, because we made a mistake. Here should be double colon. So the source distribution works, and p dist wheel works also. So we can try to pip install distribution node editor py3.wheel. And now if we check our side packages inside of our virtual environment, here is node editor, and here is everything we had, and here is QSS, and we got node QSS, node style QSS, which works awesome. Perfect. So just to clean everything up, we are going to uninstall node editor like this. Yes, remove, and we are going to install it again, just with in development mode, so by putting -e from this directory. Okay, and now we should be still running. Yes, we are. So here is our distribution, our build. We don't want to include this one in the Git repository itself. We don't need this node editor info, I guess, right now. I can try to delete that. And here is our template, basically containing everything we try to install. So let's clean up the template info. We will add this history here. Check out the requirements. These are working also. The setup.py is working also. Examples are here, and the node editor is here also. For the peace of my mind, I can probably move this up by renaming the templates to underscore template. We will not run this anyways. And our setup by or package should be set up properly. Okay, and let's try to create briefly at least one test, because we are not going to test everything or almost anything in our code, because it's hugely dependent on PyQt5. But anyways, we will try to create at least one test to import the node editor something, at least for example scene. So let's create a new file here, call that test underscore 3 zeros import. Let's have a look at our template. In the test template, let's pass it here, and from node editor dot node underscore scene import scene. And let's find this one and replace underscore template with node editor. Replace everything. Okay, and in the test something we can assert if has attribute scene object, if it has, let's find node scene, this parameter for example. so has been modified. This should be our first and only test, and let's try to run it. Python setup.py test. Test 0 something was okay, test something. So test if scene got has been modified property. So let's try it again. Test if scene got property, okay. And if we have a look at our template, it actually uses some different tests, testing environment than the regular PyTest. By default, the template is using tox. So tox is being configured with this tox.ini in the root directory. So let's copy that and let's install tox also. So import new file tox.ini, add this file, fire up terminal, pip install tox, and once you get it, we can have a look how the tox actually works. So basically you can set up the environment list. So Python 2.7, 3.4, 3.5, 6 and Flake 8, and even it has some connections to Travis if you want to build that. And the test environment is set by this thing. And this is the command which is going to be called when you want to run the tests itself. So in our case, we can use tox and set it up to test for environment called Python. We can disable 3.5 or 3.4, and I will leave 3.5 there, and we can disable Flake. I will delete the Travis because I don't need that. I will also delete this one, and here in the commands I do want to call py.test and pass the arguments tests like this, and I can set up the dependencies, which is gonna be, there are gonna be more dependencies, so pytest and pyqt5 like this. Now when I run up the terminal and write tox, you can see what it starts to create. First off, it is downloading the package and creating something like a virtual environment for all of the environments we specified here. So therefore we can run our tests using Python, not specified, and Python 3.5 and Python 3.6. So therefore we can test it in different versions of Python itself. Now you can see it's installing the dependencies, so that's pytest and pyqt5. Now it tries to run everything. So as you can see, we got one successful run on test 00 import, an error interpreter not found, Python 3.5 installation was not found, and now it's the Python 3.6 running. The first one was just py. That means we were depending on our global installation of Python in our system. So let's wait for a moment. What's gonna happen? And 3.6 succeeded, py succeeded, and 3.5 interpreter was not found. So for now I'm going to remove all of these lines, or let me just say I wanna keep Python 3.6 here, and now if I run that again, is much faster. Congratulations, the test was 100% completely done. So this way you can set up docs for using this testing across multiple environments. Before, I ran in some problem with something about complaining that history RST is missing and stuff like that. So if we have a look in our template, therefore there is file called manifest.in which specifies what files are going to be included in the package. So let's create one also. Let's call it manifest.in. Let's add that file. And in our case, we are not going to have authors here. We are not going to have contributing. We got history. We do want to have license. We do want to have readme. We also do want to have requirements txt. We want to exclude cache and stuff like this, and a recursive include of documentation, which we did not set up yet. If I try to run that again, we should be still up and running and nothing should change. But in case something writes you an error that some file is not able to be opened or something, you can probably try the manifest file to include it in the root also. If you want to have more documentation or more information about docs itself, I definitely suggest you to Google that out. It's an awesome tool for make your testing almost as easy as it can be. And let's briefly try to create some documentation, and for that we are going to use Sphinx. So we are going inside docs and we are going to type pip install Sphinx. You should install all the packages you need, and one of the tools provided to you is Sphinx quick start. So do you want to separate sources? Yes, I do want that, and project name is gonna be node editor. Author name, here we go. Project release is 0.9.0, language English, RST, master document index, no. I just want to use the default here, GitHub pages, create makefile, yes, and create Windows command file, also yes. So now if we have a look in the docs, you can see we got configuration, make bet. So let's create HTML files. So make HTML, and this will run through your sources here and create the build HTML index and everything you need. So if I go here is the documentation. As you can see, we are using the default alabaster style, which I don't like too much. So let's go to the config, and instead of alabaster, let's use classic, like this. Make HTML, go again here, and just a regular documentation like almost everyone with Python is used to do, which is awesome. If you have a look at Sphinx, here is the documentation. If you are interested in more details, here is basically described the same thing I told you or showed you, how to build the code, how to create, for example, functions and stuff like that. And I strongly suggest you to do some digging, because this is awesome documentation generator. Also, you can use templates or themes. This is the classic one which you saw. You can use this alabaster, classic, and other provided. And if we have a look down here, here is a third-party theme. If you know RTD, Read the Docs, Sphinx theme. This is currently maintained, I guess as MIT. Let me check that. Yeah, license MIT. So you can use basically this theme here. So the setup for this is pip install Sphinx RTD theme. So let's try to run that. And the configuration, the Sphinx RTD theme is configurable. Whatever, here is the documentation. HTML theme, you need to provide this one. And HTML themes path is theme path is themes. Okay, so let's add this line here. Let's try to run make HTML again. And let's check out our documentation. And now you are using the style from Read the Docs. So if you want to use this one, you actually can. And I suggest you to use that because it's perfectly optimized for mobile devices and it looks gorgeous. So this is going to be everything about the documentation. And now the final test to prove it's not installed. Let's pip uninstall node editor, and we can install it back from the GitLab repository with this link. So pip install git plus and the link to the repository, and as you can see we got node editor installed right here from the GitLab repository. So thank you for watching and see you at the next part.